Everyone.
Hi.
This summer, I went on tour for a week of the total of 2 weeks that the band that I'm in was on tour. I play in this group called the 23 Sages. It's kind of impossible to spell, so like, I can tell you about it later, but I won't go through the details now. Well, this is really distracting. Anyway, so we were on tour, and one of the places we stopped was Philadelphia, and we ended up staying with a friend of our frontman, who was a photographer, and she ended up taking a bunch of pictures of the band, or those of us who were on tour. It was only like a third of them. No, it was more. It was about half of the people who were in the band, because as the name suggests, we're large. So anyway, we were staying there, and basically, so we had just played a show in New York at this place called Sidewalk Cafe, and then we left that night to go to Philadelphia, so we wouldn't have to like drive the next day. We could just sort of like hang out for the day and then play the show in Philadelphia the next night. So we did that. A few of us did. And so we sort of got to hang out with this person, and she was pretty cool. And so, as you might be able to tell, I sort of started to kind of get a little bit attached. I was like, she was really interesting and cute, and I was into her. So anyway, basically, so we all had a really good time hanging out there or whatever. And then the next day afterward, we were on the way to Richmond, Virginia. And so this whole time, like, we were all hanging out together, and I talked with her a little bit, like one-on-one, but it wasn't really any a big deal at all. And you should know about me that I've always been sociable and comfortable talking to people and whatever. That's no problem. When you factor in the element of like, oh, maybe this, like, the idea that something could be romantic, like, I'm pretty useless. Like I'm not the kind of person who enjoys clubbing or like trying to pick people up. That's never been my style. So you should know that about me. So that being said, I was really, this whole time I was aware of how I felt, and I had just met this person, so I don't know, however deep it could possibly be for me, like that's certainly debatable. But I guess I was probably debating in my mind. Oh, well, like, should I sort of like say something? Should I be like more bold than I usually am? And it turned out I wasn't, because we began leaving. So we said goodbye or whatever, we left. But we had exchanged numbers or whatever, so we were texting, and coincidentally we texted for like several days after that as well. Anyway, I decided that I would tell her how I felt via text, which I decided was, even from the outset, was a very cowardly way to do that. But I did it anyway because somehow it was going to be cathartic for me, or it was just something I had to do. So, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm going to read you I should have it queued up here, basically. I just have to sort of scroll to the appropriate spot. I won't go through everything because it's way too lame. Not everything, not that I went like page and page. I didn't write a sonnet and give it to her everything, but come on. So,
damn. That's a long conversation.
Yeah, it sort of went on. Well, it was well, I should explain that it's not like all like super meaningful stuff. It's just sort of like, hey, how are you doing today? Right? Here's a picture I took today.
So it's so much more interesting to say that she never actually replied.
No. It's all me. Right.
I scroll through all the nude stuff.
Come on. I hate this feeling. I hate this feeling of not getting to the right spot, but I will, I promise you. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, so anyway, basically, what I was saying. Okay. So at first I start out like saying, oh, you know, like I miss you, and then she's like, oh yeah, I miss you guys too, and like blah 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 whatever. So I have to up the ante here. There's a little bit of miscommunication. So then I reply a little bit later on. I say, being away from you feels like a missed opportunity. Your soul is lovely. Okay, so I'm starting to like. Oh, please, you shouldn't indulge me like this. Okay, so this is where it gets. I mean, it's not, you know, whatever. But so.
Read it.
All right, of course, right? I've passed the point of no return. So she responds with something. Okay, I'm not going to read what she said because she didn't condone that. I'm going to say what I said. So I said, seriously, I cannot say enough. I want to be near to you. I hope this does not seem inappropriate. But I want you badly. I regret that I waited this long to tell you, but I'm not sure how much I regretted it, because if I did, I probably would have told it before. But the thing of it is like, I'm saying this, and I'm like knowing, we'd already left, like there's no chance of anything really happening, and the chances of her reciprocating are very slim, in part because of that distance, if you will. So of course, so knowing this, I wasn't too, thank you. All right. Knowing this, I wasn't too dejected when she did not reciprocate. It was like, oh, I think it was more of like kindred friends and whatever. So I'm like, you know, like, and I said, you know, yeah, that's totally cool. Anyway, the reason I bring up this story is because that's really like the distance between people. I think like we use words to fill up the distance that's between us. Like if I was really in close proximity to this person the way that I wanted to be, I probably wouldn't need words to express that. Maybe. Right? So anyway, that's my story there. Thank you for being here.